Hi, everyone. My name is Will Bowers. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Virginia. I am with Allison James Estates and Homes. And if you have seen me on Twitch, uh, playing Star Trek Online or playing some classic games from the 80s and 90s, I go by Willie the Real. The main reason I'm doing this video right now is I have been asked a lot recently, is it safe to sell a home? With the coronavirus going around right now, it is a very interesting time. I make sure, and not necessarily that I'm worried about getting the virus, but I also don't want other people worried about me being in their space. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying 6 feet apart from people. I've come across some people who are it's a very nervous time for them. I completely understand. If you're thinking of selling a home, check with your local jurisdiction, check with an agent or broker in your area. Every area is doing it differently. New York, LA, Iowa, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, the Virgin Islands, every area has different rules right now. I believe in New York, showings are not allowed. In Northern Virginia, showings are allowed, but you just have to practice the social distancing rules set by the CDC. So again, check with your local jurisdiction, whether it's the state or the county or even the town or city. They might have some specific rules in place. If you're thinking of selling a home, several things I would recommend. First, if it's a property you live in, just for the sake that if the property is vacant, it's going to be a lot easier to show because there's nobody living in there. Just periodically go back in there, just clean the place or make sure that everything is still as it should be. If you're selling a property that you live in or you have a tenant in, I would highly recommend doing a video tour of the property. Some people are very hesitant because they don't want their personal belongings shown, and I get that. But reason I suggest doing a video tour is that the potential buyers will see the property, and some people will still want to see it, and some people might not want to because after they see it, just the layout may not be conducive to what they're looking for, and that would be one less showing you have to do. Again, typically you want as many people to go through it, but again, with the coronavirus, things have changed for the time being. Um, Tours can be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, again, just depending on how much detail within the room, within the rooms, and how large the property is, how many bedrooms there are. Are there any amenities within the community itself that you want to point out? Um, the other thing too is I would tell sellers allocate some time every day for the property to be shown. A couple of hours, few hours, and at that time that you can physically go out, whether it's out for a walk or drive, just to get out. Um, One, limit your potential exposure, but also, or just maybe buyer might be a little nervous. Uh, when you come back, though, also clean, clean, and clean. Just disinfect what you can. Like I said, a good agent is going to have gloves and a mask or face covering, and make sure their buyers are protected as well. I make sure when I do a showing, I make sure that I have gloves for my clients. Make sure I tell my clients to have face covering, whether it's a mask or just something they can just put around their face. But also, I tell them essential people only, people who are important to the transaction, people who are signing. So, your best friend who wants to check out the property with you, I wouldn't recommend. Your kids, wouldn't recommend. Just for with the coronavirus, just limit the amount of people out there as possible. Um, and then be prepared. You might get an offer sight unseen. It has happened. I have seen it happen. I've written an offer sight unseen. It can happen. There will be clauses in place to protect the buyer to make sure that they're buying the property and not just that they're buying the actual property as it's advertised. And well, what's advertised is the actual property, I should say, not just some misinterpretation of this. The other thing I would tell sellers, and to be prepared for, there could be delays in the transaction. You get an offer, numbers work, you agree, everyone signs. Oh, and by the way, with the beauty of the internet, electronic signatures are really easy to do. There are many different programs that agents will use to do closings. That's not closing, but to do ratifications of contract. DocuSign, AuthentiSign. There's just a lot of different programs out there. Just upload the documents, upload where people need to sign an initial, email them, and all you gotta do is touch the screen on your phone or just you move the mouse on your computer. As for potential delays on the transaction, there's a couple of reasons, a couple of things that could delay it outside the normal life of real estate. These lenders, if there's financing involved, these lenders are everyone's working in different working. They're working from home, and sometimes it used to be easy to they just go to the next room and talk to that person. And now they're doing through email and phone, and they may not be able to communicate with a person as quickly. So this could cause a delay in the transaction. So if the loan officer says I need 21 days or 30 days, whatever the case may be, it might not be a bad idea to just push it back a couple of days. It's just easier to say I need a few extra days as opposed to actually let me rephrase that. It's easier to say we can close earlier than I need a few extra days. Forgive me for myself. Um, Another thing that could cause a delay would be in the home inspection. There are inspectors that are still doing the transaction, and just as a side note, normally inspectors like to have the buyer with them in the transaction so they could point out anything of concern within the property. Inspectors are now doing it by themselves. They just want everyone away from them as much as possible. Again, social distancing, I completely understand. Some inspectors are either doing it through apps like FaceTime or Skype. Some inspectors are just texting or texting video photos or videos of anything of concern they can point out. Again, this is in the seller, you'll get the inspection report, so you would actually see what is going on. Um, some inspectors are not going out because they just are not the coronavirus. They're just not doing it, so there might be a delay in getting the inspector out. And then also, if the inspector recommends any type of repair, it's possibility that it could be delayed. Some areas, contractors are a little some first contractor might tell you they need the house to themselves. Completely understand with social distancing, they're just trying to protect their workers. And second, some jurisdictions might put restrictions on when contractors can be out. I've heard of some places that say contractors can only come out if it's an emergency. And they might not deem a cosmetic fix as an emergency. So that could push closing back, or it might cause the money going into escrow to make sure the items repaired after the transaction's closed. Um, Another thing that could cause a delay is just getting the appraiser out. There's some appraisers a lot of appraisers are still working, but there's some that may not necessarily be taking as many jobs or any because of the coronavirus. So getting an appraiser out might get pushed back a little bit. And without that, things might not be able to close on time. Um, just delays are very much possible. It is just and it's beyond our control. The coronavirus has come out and things have gone crazy. So hopefully you find this video informative. Please like the video. Please subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos, whether it's through camera like this, something live from Facebook, or just you, piecing together some stuff from information with just my voice over it. Um, like I said, if you are thinking of selling or looking at buying, and you're looking for an agent outside of Northern Virginia, whether what another part of the country, I do know a lot of great agents around the country, so my information will be underneath here, and reach out to me, and I will hook you up with somebody. And but most importantly, right now with everything that's going on, stay safe. Please stay safe. I hope none of you get the virus. Take care of yourselves, and with a situation like this, what can you really say? Just take care of yourself, stay safe. Thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you again next time.